every now and then, whenever I get the chance to talk to a crowd, nowadays, actually today to a multinational crowd, I always try to do a bit of an evangelization of solar power and why is it important and why I've chosen this market to work with. It's not the first technologically driven market I've worked in. I've been into the IT market, I worked in Microsoft, I worked as well in training. But this challenge for me was very important, as I do believe we're talking about the major fight that we'll see during the upcoming decades. That will be the energetic fight, as far as you know. And solar energy, to me, means above all the liberation of the people as far as energy is concerned. We both know that most of them, at an individual level, most of our expenses are due to energy. We pay an electricity bill, we pay the gas bill, and then every single service or product we acquire within a structure of costs, there's always energy there. And energy is a major issue nowadays, and it will be the major issue in the upcoming years. We have wars because of energy. I think whenever you're willing to kill someone just to get access to an energy resource, that says pretty much about the importance of energy. So I have this very short video that actually tells you about solar energy, where we are, where we want to be. And afterwards, I will talk to you a bit about the latest solar lab, where we do our investigation, and also about the solar communities project. And whenever you have any questions, feel free to stop me. We'll stop, and I will try to answer the best I can.
Thank you.
Energy is everywhere. So this is a basic question. We do know we can get solar power out of the sun. We don't know how. Here you can see state-of-the-art technology. These are the solar concentrators, which basically concentrates radiation within one silicon cell. These are trackers, systems that follow the sun, you know. We have an orbit underneath it. This is the largest solar concentration field in the world. This is in Spain, actually. Close to Córdoba. This video tries to expose a bit of the pros and of the cons of this source of energy. We'll always have this. We also have some cons to this source of energy. Usually, radiation can be diffused by the clouds. The sun is not, the number of sunny hours varies upon your location on Earth. So, these cons are very important because when we defend solar energy, we don't defend solar energy as the sole source of energy. We do believe in a mix of energy. So whenever you listen or you read something in a newspaper that says solar is the way, or wind is the way, or nuclear is the way, they're not being totally honest, because there will always be a need of a mix, an energetical mix. So the question here, it's not whether you're going to use a sole source of energy, but which ones will do the correct mix. And one thing is very, very sure. Everywhere in the world there's sun. Everywhere in the world there's this free, clean source of energy. So whenever, I'm seeing people from Spain where they have a lot of sun, also from Sweden. I don't know, when we talk about Sweden, sun is not the first idea that comes into our mind, but they do have sun there. So whenever in your countries there will be a debate about the correct mix of energy, I will have to tell you that you will always want to consider the sun as a primary source of energy. Finishing this first part, this is very generic, this video, but it told you about some of the pros and some of the cons of this source of energy. Also, a bit about technology. The idea of presenting to you this video was basically to make you aware of the potential of the sun. The energy liberated every hour by the sun equals 4,000 gigawatts, which means more than power, more than enough to provide energy that we need nowadays in the world for the upcoming decade. So in 1 hour, we get enough power for 1 decade. It's totally renewable, it's clean, and above all, it's the sun. The sun was the first god of mankind. We are used to it. It's probably the most reliable source of pretty much everything. We do know that the sun will rise up tomorrow. That's a guarantee. So now I'll talk to you a bit about the Orange Solar Lab. This one we were supposed to visit up there, but we can't, because as it was said before, we had some rainy weather during the past week, and it's all muddy, and it wouldn't be a very pleasant experience to you all. And I want you to keep keen on solar energy and about its potential. So, we have a very good connection here with our local municipality for 2 reasons. We're a technologically driven company. We are a spin-off of one of the major universities here in Portugal, Instituto Superior Técnico, that as far as technology is concerned, is the most international recognizable institution here in Portugal. So what basically happened, we had 3 students, 3 PhD students from Técnico. They ended up their degree, they were done with college, but they hadn't worked. Getting a job once you're very specialized, technologically speaking, sometimes it's not easy. You have the skills, you have the know-how. Sometimes the market is not even ready to get you, because there's no functions or job descriptions that would fit your skills. What they mainly did, they said, well, we have the knowledge, let's create a product. Let's get into the market with our own product, with our own concept, with our own pitch. So they developed a solar tracker that had a couple of concentrators, and it was the first concentrator solar tracker in the world. We started in 2007, and during that year, just in Europe, we sold 20 megawatts of that solar tracking system. That device was also received much prizes, both in Portugal and also abroad. In Portugal, we got a prize called Best Inovação, which is a very recognizable award here in Portugal. And also abroad, we got prizes from MIT, from the University of Texas. We also got some prizes in Spain, actually. The Genera Solar, which is a very known fair of solar. So this to say that municipalities do like innovative companies, innovation, because innovation tends to aggregate value, tends to aggregate highly qualified jobs there, which is very important. And also, it's let's not mask things up. These companies do bring value into the money. That's the issue. We do bring money into this municipality, and so they will support us, and they have been together with us. Also, we are lucky because this municipality, as far as Portugal is concerned, is recognized as the best municipality in the entire country. Our index of quality of life is above the standard average here in Portugal. So,
and the rates of innovation?
are very high.
Yeah, and the rates of qualification of human capital are the highest.
In our country. Well, do not
This
fool yourselves.
municipality.
Portugal still has a long way to go there. So it's
Yeah.
not that hard to be the best sport in our country.
Yes.
So specifically as far as the oils lab is concerned, our company started to need a wide area to implement a solar lab where we could test our trackers, where we could test our concentrators, where we can test panels, because we also test panels for manufacturers all over the world. Funny or not, we were given a field by the municipality that is in the waste disposal land. So, you know, still within the environment industry or environment-friendly waste industry. Innovators, our municipality, they developed a specific plan for the sustainability of the municipality, which comes according to the pact of the mayors. I don't know if you're familiar with that. There's an European pact of the mayors for sustainability as far as energy is concerned. According to that plan here in Oeiras, we are looking forward until 2020 to increase the energetic efficiency in 20%. Efficiency pretty much means getting the same hand with less means. So as you probably familiarized, we're talking about new lighting technologies, new thermic convection collectors. So this is very important. Also, one of the objectives of this plan was to increase the production of energy through renewable sources in 20%. We're in Portugal, so the first thing that comes to mind is sun. I mean, we have people from all over the world coming just for our sun. So it's clearly, according to our endogenic characteristics, the best solution for our country. And the municipality chose also to support the solar industry in this plan. The other objective of this plan is to reduce the emissions of CO2 by 20%, to cut them off by 20%. So the solar lab came and has two major functions for our company. You will see some photos afterwards. I know you're probably eager to see the photos, but before we get there, it's an investigation center. In our company, more than half of our personnel are PhD or master students. They take their measures, conduct their experiments over there in the Oeiras Solar Lab. The Oeiras Solar Lab, even though it was only officially started last June, was already working before that. We developed a specific solar tracker there called Horizons. It was the first product that was fully developed and tested within the Oeiras Solar Lab. And just last month, the UT at Austin, the University of Texas at Austin, chose that product in the ambit of the program called the US Connect as the the easiest product, industrial product, to be exported or to be received by the American market. So that was very good for us, and it does tell you a bit about the quality of the work that we developed in the solar lab. It's actually from Oeiras to the world. Also, it's a full spot for testing and development of new concepts, because we also get hired by very renowned manufacturers to test their products over there. So here it was the inauguration of the solar lab. You can see Oeiras mayor here, this nice gentleman. We had the party and all the politicians were there and they loved it, and it was very good. And the community does resemble on these technological projects. It was very funny because in the inauguration day, we had people that were not invited from the community, but they listened to it on the radio, read on the newspaper, and they all showed up. And it was really funny because we had like the old man that's already retired. We just went there and he was very curious and eager to learn about the technology. And we also had a school that showed up with little kids. We didn't invite them, but it's all right for us. So the community usually is still very, very open to this sort of solutions. Nowadays, as you know, and probably in most of your countries, there's a crisis going on. So people don't tend to think of technology. They think about money, about saving money. The core message that the industry is not delivering to people is that actually renewable energies do save them money. Not only in the short run, but specifically in the medium and the long run. So I think this is very important for you as you go back to your countries to understand that whenever you talk about renewables and interaction with the community, you have to tell them, we need to make this bet. We need to invest in renewable energy. It will save you money. It's very important. Don't ever forget. The energy invoice is the biggest invoice and the largest invoice you get every single month into your bills. So here you can see the tracker I was talking to you about. It's one-axis tracker, a single tracker that was specifically developed for the countries closer to the equator. One of the principles in solar energy is the direct incision of the radiation upon the silicon cells. Here, those cells that you see in every single solar panel is a silicon cell. If you get the radiation to have a total perpendicularity of incision upon the cells, then you maximize the production. The difference of production of one panel that is fixed in a roof or in a floor, the difference of production to these trackers is plus 30%. So just by tracking the sun with one single axis, you have a 30% increase in production. This is very important. This is actually, solar trackers are very key and they are essential to the maximization of the production of a solar system. Here we tested the wind, we tested the rain, we tested even snow. We have some machines that do resemble snow. It doesn't snow nowadays. And also we test robotics. Robotics are very important in solar tracking systems. This device here that you see is called sun gravity control. It wasn't developed in this lab, it was developed by us in the collaboration sponsorship of a very known university. And this specific system that you see here that we use in all our solar tracking devices earned the Farnell Prize. The Farnell Prize, I don't know if you're familiar, if you ever heard of it. The Farnell Prize is pretty much the Nobel of electronics and robotics. Basically, what this does, we insert a formula there. We insert a formula there before an implementation of a solar plant, and it tracks the sun to the minute according to their exact location. So we insert the coordinates there, and so that the system knows what's the right position every single minute. So it increases the production. If you have 30% here, and through this device, it increases a further 10%. So with this system, we increase the production in 40%, which makes this a very highly competitive system. And it was, as I was saying before, it was specially developed for the Central America, South America, and African markets. That's where most of the solar energy future remains, because they don't have a grid established already. They don't have sources of production of energy, so they do need new energy solutions. And they have the sun as the basic source of energy, and the most logical one. Well, they don't have the ability to build a nuclear plant in Ghana or a big thermoelectrical production station in Panama, for instance. So this is a very good solution for them. As of today, we already sold over 50 megawatts of this into El Salvador, into Nicaragua, into Morocco. So we're there, and this is a very important asset for us. It wouldn't be possible if we didn't have an investigation department. And this new R&D solution that already Solar Lab is essential for our future growth. And we're known worldwide as a very innovative company. So we pretty much rely on our investigation and our ability to release new products that do generate added value to the consumers. So these are basically the major assets of people that go visit us and to resemble in this all-weather solar lab. The opportunity to interact with the investigators is very important for us. The community goes there. We're talking about top university scholars, getting kids of 6 or 7 years old to talk with them and to make the message simple. It's good for the community because they do get the awareness they need out of this experience, but it's also very important for us because one of the key problems of the communication of a technologically driven company is the explanation of your solution. How to make it understandable for a 6-year-old. So they do get to read this almost on a monthly basis. Also, it's very good as far as increasing the awareness for technology, for its importance, for its advantages for the entire community. People go there, people see a little light being lighted Of course, this system could light all of their houses at the same time, but just the light is enough. You see, ooh, so I can get energy out of something that is totally available. So if you're telling me we don't need to invent another country to get oil, we don't need to pay an increasing cost for it, I think that's education. Not probably training, but it's education, which is ridiculous, you know. Also, it's very funny that we see that this is why the age, how can I say, all the ages are sensitive to this kind of message, which is also very good for the community itself. So we don't need to adapt the global message to our auditions. So people will understand it. And it's funny because if you look at technology, usually older people have some resistance to get there. My grandfather doesn't use a computer. He hates computers and he says that they're hitting our brains. But he does have a solar system in his farm. So there's actually two reasons for that. First, it's a very easy to understand technology, or at least to have the basics of it. And then it generates profit, or actually it increases or reduces the energetic invoice. So these are the two main areas that are driving the message of solar power. Also, it's very important for us, for the community, to see that we do produce the technology at a high end. We're talking about state-of-the-art technology, and it's actually being investigated, produced, and sold from here, right by their door, next by them. So they do feel and they do resemble to this project. This is also important to us. We want to be cherished. We want to be part of our daily energetic paradigm. So if we achieve that, then our sustainability as an industry is achieved. So as you see, investigation is not only core just by itself, it's core by the message it provides to the community. And if we have the ability to involve the community in our projects of R&D, then they will be our first buyers, our first missionaries, our first word of mouth that, as you know, it's the best publicity you can get. So as far as trend generation, this is very important to us. I don't know if you have any question and answer specifically about, any questions? Answer that. You probably don't have, otherwise you would question me also. I don't know if you have any questions about this. All right, just try to raise your hand. So I'll say it's pretty self-explanatory. Now I will talk about our other major project here with the municipality. So before I start talking to you about this, I think it's important to tell you that solar energy, solar power, it's still a very subsidized and it's very dependent upon subsidies. What happens when a technology is not sufficiently mature? It needs to mature to scale in order to reduce the costs and also through technical advancements that cost money and investment. So what happened since 2004 is that mainly in Europe, the government started to subsidize actually the production of power energy through renewable sources. Here in Portugal in 2007, it started a program called micro-production. There was an incentive program in order to allow residential owners to implement these solar systems within their roofs. Then they would sell the energy to the company with a subsidy that would make the investment affordable and actually attractive. In 2007, in 2008, the crisis was, well, there was already a crisis, we know that by now. But during then, we were all dreaming, oh, okay, this is just, it's a bit of a call to our economic system, and just take some medicine and we'll be all right. Now we know it wasn't like that, but there was a boom. In the investment in this system. There was actually two problems yet, even though we had these subsidies, was that investment was yet a large investment for most of our medium-class families that could not afford to install this system. Also, we also noticed that even though the government did support this program, the municipalities, they didn't have a coherent energetic program. So what we tried to develop, and we received a challenge from the municipality, they told us, you need to create a program that will make the investment more affordable to more families, that will involve your scholar community, your schools community, and also that will generate economic profits and gains within the companies of the municipality. So it was not an easy challenge, but we came out with this program. So the Comunidade Solar, the solar community, this project started last June, and it already helped Oeiras, being the municipality in the country with more installed solar systems. This happened within 5 months, so it was a major success, and we are already going to expand it to other municipalities next year. We already have 15 other municipalities that decided to join the program. Before I pass into the specifics of this program, it's important for you to know that as an industry, we don't want to rely on subsidies. We want to get rid of subsidies. We want to compete directly with the other sources of production. It's very important for us because there won't be subsidies for us. We're talking in a depressed Europe where subsidies are already being cut. So for us, this is the first step to the widespread use of the energy. The major challenge that we face as an industry is the so-called grid parity. The grid parity basically means for us as consumers that I will be able to opt to choose solar energy because it will cost me less than if I sign a contract with any energy provider. We do believe this era is coming very close. Probably in 2013 we will be already able to offer that to people. And now think of it. Imagine in your houses, you will not get an electricity bill for the rest of your lives. You won't depend about oil prices, fluctuations. You won't, actually, you will do this using a very clean, a very environmental friendly energy source. So this may change the world actually. Imagine if this is so widespread that electricity is not even an issue anymore. Imagine poor countries where access to energy is not easy, it's not a given fact as it is for us in Europe, getting access to energy in a way that won't cost them pretty much all their own resources. Because what happens usually in those countries is that they get foreign investment into production of electricity, but then they have to pay the bill for it. And that does limit their own development. So this is actually a very world-changing challenge that we have here. Not only the solar energy, the wind power energy, the hydric, the water, the tides power as well. So it's very important for us. So whenever you think of it, this is also one of the messages you need to send out to the communities. We need to support these sorts of technologies because they will mean energetic liberation. And in not such a long time. This can happen within the next 5 years. So it can be very changing. So here is the plan as I showed you before. So this is what pretty much we tried to do. We had the local community and we had to interact with it in order to achieve those objectives. We involved the municipality. So they use all their media channels to communicate, to promote the program. They also use their own events. We had like a music festival here during the summer. We were present there. We talked with people. So they're basically doing all the communication efforts. Then we have the companies within our own municipality. What happens? We develop the project, but then all the installation work is done by companies within our municipality that created jobs, that actually helps at least to maintain the jobs and to maintain those companies working. So it was very good. Also, we had these three major objectives: environment, economy, solidarity. Environment, very easy. We have a university aggregated to this project. They do the monetarization and the measurements of the results, of the saving results, of the emissions results of this project. So they give us this data and the municipality uses it to communicate. Also, economically, this is very important because another aspect of this program, we only use products manufactured and produced in Portugal, which is a very good message nowadays. Unfortunately, with the crisis, people do tend to look into their own production, And this was very good as far as sympathy towards the project. You know, people do empathize more with a project that uses products than here in Portugal. And also solidarity, because at each 100 kilowatt cycle of installed power, we provide a free system into a solidarity institution within the municipality. So that institution will be energy bill free for as far as they're open. So that is also very important. All this generated the dynamics within the municipality. We started having the media contact us. Hey, I want to know what this is. Our competitors start calling the municipality. Hey, why are you doing this with them? So for us, that was a sign of the success this program had. So we already have around 250 kilowatt installed of solar power within the municipality, and this only started in June. So back then, from 2007 to June 2011, in the Oeiras municipality, you had 75 kilowatt installed. So we more than doubled. We actually tripled the power installed within the municipality. This happened in only 4 or 5 months. So we can say already that it was a success. Our major partners, what we understood it to be very important to have reliable and credible institutions just giving their name and supporting this program. So we had the municipality, we had the entire Tagus Park, which is this polos where we are. We had the energy agency of the municipality. We had the probably most prestige university in Portugal. And we also had a very technical company that aggregated itself to this program, CME. They are very famous and they are very reliable as far as projects is concerned. After these, we also had other companies wanting to join the project, just given their names. So nowadays we have Cisco, we have Microsoft, we have HP, we have Tetra Pak. They basically just promote the program within their collaborators and use their channels to communicate the existence of this program. And all this happened without the investment of a single euro from any of the partners or any of the institutions involved. So that's also another lesson that we can withdraw from this project. It's possible to generate dynamics with the community, with the municipality, and with the companies in a program without spending a single euro. And that was also another of the challenges that we had, as you know, access to capital is not easy. So I will explain you here a bit of how works the microgeneration program. So whenever you think about producing solar power, you have two questions. Do I want to sell the electricity that I produce to the grid, or do I want to be totally self-sustainable? Nowadays, given the price of installing a solar power system and the benefits that we still do have here in Portugal, it's clearly more achievable to sell energy to the grid. The return on investment is way more interesting, so that's what basically happened. Then people do receive every single month the money out of their production, which has a clear effect. Their energetic bills come lower. Sometimes they even have a super audit. Actually, most of the producers, they do receive money. They don't pay any longer. They will never pay for electricity again. This is very important. So they become micro producers. So here it's just bureaucracy or the bureaucratic steps in order to become a micro producer. For you to have an idea of the values involved in this program, we're talking about investment amounts ranging from 13K to 17K that generate an annual revenue from 2K to 3.1K. So basically, after 4 or 5 years, your investment is fully paid, and from then on, forget about electricity bills. You're free. You're free from Endesa. You're free from ADP here in Portugal. You're free from ADF in France. I don't know if no French. All right. So this is pretty much what happened. I gave you the general lines. I don't know if you have any specific question of how we dealt with the municipality, how we aggregated other companies, how the contacts made. If we have any training institutions associated, we don't have it yet. If you want to. So
I think about, thank you very much, Daniel. I think about the core sensibility actions that you have been doing these 5 months. Yes.
And then the past 5 months were actually pretty crazy as far as this is
Yes.
concerned, because I'm always running near, so from here to there, from school to the college to a company to back to the municipality. So what basically the actions we took, we tried to go into events that were not closed and that were not dedicated specifically to the program. So we went to music festivals in the summer close to the beach. We had a little stand up there. There the mayor came, people liked the mayor, they smiled, they took the pictures, and they listened to us. And they heard us, and they understood, and they joined us. So our communication efforts have passed by a light introduction, so to speak. Because if we said to people, oh, come here to this locked auditorium and where you will listen to these guys talking about solar power, we'd had 3 people,
Yes, of course.
4 people the most. But then we went the other way around, so to speak. We went to the schools also. We talked with the kids, we talked with the teachers. It's actually very funny also. As far as this project is concerned, we also had internships for marketing and for the communication of the project. So we had like 18-year-olders to 22-year-olders knocking on people's doors. Some of them, they tried that. Then it worked out. They just gathered in major sports events, surf events. So it was a very youthful way of communication. And it actually turned out to result very well.